Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff. Back here over on some more Battlefield RedSec. Surprised I called it RedSec. I swear I've been calling this mode DeadSec for I don't know how long. RedSec just reminds me of DeadSec, which comes from me playing a bunch of X-Defiant. Real quick, I want to thank everybody so much for all the love and support on the videos, and also if you're enjoying these RedSec videos or Battlefield in general, leave a like on this video. So after playing for a little while yesterday, admittedly I didn't play as much as other people. Got a few levels while playing, you know. We're just gonna hop drop golf course and just hope for the best. It feels like golf course is kind of like the superstore of this. This feels like the main one. I still don't really understand. Okay, I'm upgrading a 4x scope or a 6x, okay? Oh! I avenged my boy. Dude, I was looking over at the Steam reviews for this shit. People are leaving a lot of negative reviews on it. I mean, I don't think it's perfect by any means, but damn, I don't think it's that bad. Shit. Yeah, a lot of the complaints I'm seeing from some people on these reviews don't even really make a lot of sense. Like, new mission available. I do appreciate the amount of different things that you can do in this. Like, the missions, yeah, I don't think they're very entertaining to do or very cool overall after you do them for the first time or whatever, but I do think it's cool that people that aren't really planning to go around and for a whole bunch of people and all that shit, I'm glad that they gave them something to do, because it feels like over in Warzone, for example, bad players in particular didn't necessarily have anything to do except sit around and hope for the best. Time to show everybody the OP-ass recon. You know, I was surprised at the amount that the class was actually making a difference in this game. Before this, I was like, this doesn't really feel like class-based stuff. And to a degree, it still isn't that deep. Like, you still have to be able to shoot and shit, but they added a recon drone that drops a fucking bomb on people, dude.
Don't linger.
What the f just happened to me? It like locked my camera. My teammate died? Damn. I hate the fact that I have a teammate on this shit. I really do. I wish that they would allow me to go into the game completely like no fill whatsoever, so I don't have to worry about my teammate. I just want to be alone. Even if I have to play solos, I want to be alone. In my opinion, overall, maybe my opinion will change. I'm sure it will in some ways. At the moment, after playing it for a day, it seems like a cross somewhere between, like, not necessarily mechanically or anything like that, but say you have Call of Duty on like the speed side as like the fastest, even though you could argue some other BRs could be faster. Anyway, say you got Warzone on one end of the spectrum and then like something that's slower and more methodical, like say PUBG on the other side. PUBG can be fast, but you see what I'm saying. Anyway, this game feels like it's a middle ground between the two of them, where like you don't necessarily need to run into every other player in the game to get shit done. There's a lot of other things to do, like the missions and stuff like that. Like, these guys are doing the missions as well. Also, if you're like engineer, you can stop and pop open like a bunch of different safes around the map and all that. No, it feels cool. Like, if you play recon, you can just abuse the shit out of that super strong recon drone. And you can find people very, very quickly. I feel like recon, if I were playing solo, I feel like recon would be incredible. Mostly because it's hard to find your footing on here, and you can't guarantee a UAV in this mode like you can in Warzone, for example. I was afraid that the reason why they wouldn't go with solos is because the class system, one of the classes would be much better than other classes if they weren't really that effective overall. But it turns out in the end, I mean, it's not going to be as effective as like, or different, or very like special as say something like Apex. Because for them, a lot of their characters are balanced around the fact that everything is like team-based and all that other stuff. But some of the classes on here aren't necessarily team-based, but I'd imagine like support would be picked less in solos, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe you can do like really intelligent stuff with it. You could sit in a really powerful position with that healing shit underneath of you. Now, you won't be able to use the defib or anything like that, but maybe you can. Or you could just go and swap it over to get another gadget or something. Something I don't like about the spectating in this game is that you can't see how many kills anyone has, so you don't know if anyone is truly having like a good game or not. It feels like the majority of the gameplay that you watch, at least from the average player, is gonna be very same-ish, although it does seem like it is more active. I haven't come across too many people, I mean just like in Warzone, where people will literally choose to lay down in the corner somewhere. They won't do any missions, they won't do anything whatsoever, they won't expose themselves, and they won't move until they have to. One thing I noticed about even bad players on this game is that they will still pursue the missions overall, even if the missions tell them to go out there. I think it's mostly because gunfights don't happen as often in this game, although given it's not happening substantially less or anything like that. I don't know, people are less afraid to move for some reason in this game. I'm not sure why, but they don't seem to be nearly as afraid, which is a good thing. I mean, sure, of course, we've only had a day with it or whatever, but I feel like all of the classes would still be used in solo. I don't find myself going, man, I wish that we were this, and I wish that we were that, and just for the moment, I might wish that, but not really. And I only ever feel myself calling for that when it comes to like a support or something for like resupplies and other stuff like that. But again, though, if you go go and get kills, you'll probably have ammo as well. So, I mean, Assault would be pretty good. Engineer seems like it would be pretty good. You can still open the safes and stuff like that. You're a threat to anybody running around with vehicles and stuff naturally by having an RPG. But even then, there's plenty of RPGs all around the map, especially when people get tanks. In order to get an RPG, you don't need to be an engineer. That's the case for like all of these. In Apex, or something like Apex, you'll never be able to get the other abilities and capabilities of other characters. At least not in their usual forms. On here, you can find a defib. You can, in solos, you won't need a defib, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like all the classes on here aren't so deep down that route that you wouldn't be able to make them all viable in solos anyway. Now, naturally, one will be stronger than the other off rip, sure, but as the game scales and goes along, I feel like it evens itself out. And I also don't feel like I'm seeing a lot of situations where, so far at least, watch out, they have an engineer. No, it's more like, well, watch out, they probably have rockets. Not because they have engineer, but because you can just find rockets. I don't find myself calling out that, like, who is what class or anything like that. It's not like Apex. People are gonna pretend like it is, but it's really not that deep. I feel like solos is totally possible. This whole, like, it has to be a squad-based thing, I feel like it's poorly supported overall. It could be what they want, but they still can't describe a good reason. Apex, I understand the reasoning. From the bottom up, it was built that way. Battlefield, bottom up, at the bottom is the gunplay, period. What? This is like the second or third time it's kicked me while spectating, by the way. This is even when I'm like spectating my friends or something. Why am I getting kicked while spectating? I mean, what the fuck? Am I not allowed to sit there and watch the entire game? Why would it kick me for inactivity for spectating? You put spectating in the game. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Don't look at these overall reviews and stuff like that. A lot of them is like fear-mongering and shit. And part of that could be my fault. I did say that my experience over on Warzone and Call of Duty in general, Activision and EA are like the giants up there. You can't expect them to act very player-friendly one over the other. They're likely going to be doing the same thing. I hope that RedSec doesn't do so well that it ends up pulling away from the main game, the main experience of multiplayer, like what happened with Call of Duty. It took years to get that back to Call of Duty, and it took Warzone, I mean, basically dying in order for the multiplayer to get back to where it should be design-wise. And even if it's not design-wise, it's still getting the content updates and stuff. It's not being shorted. I don't see that happening in this game yet, and people are already saying it's happening within 24 hours of RedSec being out. They're not even seeing any actual effects of this. Like, sure, yeah, unfortunately, you guys have a bunch of Call of Duty players in your community now. But I'll be honest, a lot of people that play Battlefield and Call of Duty have played the other game. At some point, I have. Everybody I know has. Also, they still haven't fixed this challenge, by the way. Just have to put it out there. Also, I'm not a big vehicle guy, but has anybody noticed that you literally can't edit the jet? Is it because my jet isn't leveled up or anything, or these are both level 0? Even this armored transport is level 0, and I can edit this stuff over here, but if I go over to the attack jet and the fighter jet, I can't edit anything at all. Even though I have absolutely nothing, it's level 0, level 0. This is also level 0, but I can edit it. I can see the things that are locked, even if it's just odd. I don't know why there's no customization stuff for the attack jet or fighter jet. Am I dumb? Maybe I'm just dumb, you know? Feel free to call me that. Plenty of people have already. I'm not trying to turn this game into Warzone. I'm not trying to turn it into Call of Duty in any way, shape, or form. I've been having a blast on this. Way more fun than I thought I would be having on this game. I'm level 118, dude. I slowed down over the past day or two, trying to prepare and fix my sleep schedule and stuff, but this video is probably gonna go up late as well, so a lot of good that did me. Bottom line, I've been enjoying the game. The negative reviews, a lot of them are like really blown out, like if you really go and read them. Some of them are legitimate complaints, but I don't think that this game deserves like a complete thumbs down. Well, returning back to Battlefield, experiencing my first Battlefield on launch, like within a community and paying attention within the community, this has been really fun. Like way more fun than I thought. I was really worried that I would be tired of this. My main worry at this point now, instead of like, oh, I might not want to feel like playing it after a couple weeks, I'm worried that when I go back to Black Ops 7, I'm going to miss playing this game instead. That's what I'm worried about overall. I'm worried that I'll be in the middle of like some sort of miserable challenge that they have that's either like bugged or broken or whatever could be wrong with it. I think it'll be easy personally, but if I did run into that, I feel like I could find myself begging and pleading to be able to go back to Battlefield. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. That's how much I'm enjoying Battlefield 6 and just RedSec in general, even without solos in there. I prefer the multiplayer experience still, but RedSec is nice. A much better launch than Firestorm, that's for sure.